It's Cheryl, and I'm really excited because this is the first of my collaboration with Gareth this month. We didn't really set any particular thing to do. Gareth said book pages and whatever you want to do with it, so that's what we're doing. I'm doing something that I have seen on Pinterest. I've seen them before in various places, and I always wanted to try one, and I just never got around to it. So this seemed like the perfect time to go ahead and try this project. And what it's going to be is it's going to be a Christmas tree made out of old book pages. And they're really, really cute when you get them all done. Mine's a little different than the ones I've seen because I didn't have exactly what I needed for it. So, yeah. Anyway, what I've done so far, and I just glued this just to get it, you know, nice and firm. You're not really missing out on anything because I'll explain what I've done. My brother had some old wood around, so he gave me this piece. It's 3 3/4 by about 1/2 inch, and then I had him drill a hole right in the center. Well, then I couldn't even find a bamboo skewer. Can you believe that? So I had him see if he had any dowels, and he had a 3/16 inch dowel, so that's what we're using. And I cut the dowel so it's about 12 inches or a foot from the bottom down here. Now what I've done is my first layer, well, they'd be branches of, you know, or a real tree. These I've cut at 4 3/4. And basically what I've done is just glued one of these down. There's going to be no cats helping, thank you very much. And then I took a 3 by 3 piece of just some lightweight cardboard and covered it with some of the book page also, and glued that down on top just to kind of hold everything together. Also on this, now the ones I've seen, most of them they've used like an edge punch on them. Well, I didn't have a small enough edge punch, so I didn't know what to do. I thought, okay, I'll try pinking shears. Well, it doesn't give you that look you want, but I'm hoping once it's all together, you know, it won't be so noticeable that I use pinking shears. And I just kind of put a bunch of them together and just kind of haphazardly cut with them. So some will have some straighter edges and stuff, but hey, trees in nature aren't perfect either, right? Anyway, I've cut mine at 4 3/4. Then I went down to 4 1/2, and then I went down to 4 1/4, and I believe 4. Then I went, and I've done about 20 of each. I wasn't sure how many I'd need, so I've done about 20 of each size. Then I went from 3 3/4 down to 3, 2 3/4 down to 2, and I think I went 1 1/2, 1 1/4, and 1 inch for the very last ones because I'm not going to be using, you know, as many of those anyway. So anyway, what we're going to do is, oh, and I used Vintage Photo Distress inks on the edges. I figured out that inking a pinked edge was just about impossible, so what I did was I just took my distress ink pad, put it down on my craft mat, put some water with it, and I used this big paintbrush to just kind of paint around the edges and put some smudges and smears here and there just to make the book pages look a little more vintage. So anyway, I'm going to get started, and I am going to fast forward through this because you really don't need to watch me place every one of these. I'll do a couple to start. And what I did too was I got a Tim Holtz pokey tool, and I guessed at about where the middle was. So if it's not exactly even, I'm not going to get upset about that. But you could sure, you know, fold it or measure it or whatever to find the exact center if that's what you wanted. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm just taking them, and if I can even find my hole, and I'm just going to start laying them on, and I'm going to have the edges just off of each other. I don't know if you can see that. I've got some pretty bad boys. And I've got too much help from a furry little thing. So I think you can see it over on this edge though, where it's just offset just a little bit. And I'm going to do that as I stack these on and go all the way around. And probably you should glue these, but I think since this is just, you know, this is kind of trial and error with me because I've never done it before. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and I will fast forward it, and when I'm done, I will come back. Alright, I'm back, and I'm down to just putting on my last little 1-inch pieces. As you can see, it went pretty fast. It really hasn't taken me that long to sit here and do this. But you just keep layering and stacking until you get your the size tree you want. You could sure do a bigger one or a smaller one. You could use some scrapbooking paper to do this with, would be cool. You could glue it together if you wanted. I've chosen not to on this one because, like I said, something I just always wanted to do, and while this collaboration gave me the perfect chance to try it out, so I'm kind of learning too as I go. I'm just going to stack a few more of these little 1-inch ones, and then I'm going to leave the top in case I want to put something on it. I'm not sure. See, I'm not real big on all the commercialized stuff at Christmas, you know, I mean, like Rudolph and, elves and Santa Claus and all that stuff. I kind of like my stuff to be simple and plain and kind of pure. But, let me see if I can zoom this camera out far enough to get the whole thing. I'm on my dining room table, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Let me try popping it up a little bit there. Okay, I don't know if you can see the top, but I've left this much of it. I may go ahead and fill it up more. I may just trim it off right where it's at, because I really like the shape of my tree. As you can see, it's nice, kind of cone shape going up and down. And, this dowel's driving me crazy all the while I was doing this, because it's just bouncing back and forth, but it's because this is only a 3/16 inch dowel, and it's very small. You could take this and you could, like, kind of work with it, just fluff it around. I don't know if it really is going to do any good the way I have mine done, but you could, if you wanted, before you put this on, you could kind of curl the edges of your paper up. By all means, you could put more distress ink on it. Wouldn't it be cool to take it and spray it with like there's spray glitters now? Wouldn't that be really, really neat? Or you could do it in different colors. You could coffee dye your book pages, or Kool-Aid dye them. That gets some really pretty colors out of that. The sky's really the limit on something like this. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the top, and I didn't know when I started this either. With my move and then move back, a lot of my craft stuff is still packed away, and I haven't got it out and everything, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. But, probably, in all reality, it's probably going to get like a little wooden star put up on top of it in natural wood look, and that's probably going to be about all I'm going to do with this. Because as I said, I like everything just simple and natural and kind of rustic, and to me that's what this little tree looks like. But, and I can't get my camera to focus all the way on the whole tree. But as you can see, it makes just a beautiful cone-shaped tree. And it's really a lot of fun to do, and it's quick. The hardest part is cutting all the papers, inking the edges if that's what you're going to do. I found the paintbrush worked much better because I wasn't thinking, or I had just coffee dyed my paper to start with. Because you get some really interesting looks sometimes when you coffee dye too. And I probably would glue my pages together next time. You wouldn't have to, because it holds together rather well. But if you push on it, it's going to compact down, because I just had that problem here, so I may have to go back and adjust when I'm done. But anyway, yeah, this is the little rustic Christmas tree. I hope you all like it. I've had so much fun doing this project. Thank you, Gareth, for collaborating with me. I can't wait to see what our next challenge is going to be. I'm very, very excited, and I would like to thank you all for joining me on this little adventure. If you like what you see, click like and subscribe. Be glad to have you. Yeah, so hoping everyone has a safe and happy Labor Day weekend. Bye-bye.